Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's great to see you. This is a reading for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or for those with significant Scorpio placements. There may be a message in here for you. So Scorpio, the first message that I was receiving for you was about the planets, astrologically, like what's happening, where there might be a bit of discomfort. Because right now, Venus is in the sign of Taurus, which of course is your opposite. And Mars, which is one of your two rulers, is in Leo, which is a square to you. So there's a bit of a uncomfortable energy there because the square energy is sort of representing an area of tension. I'm not an astrologer, but just from what I know, this is what's coming through. The Leo energy in Mars is creating a bit of tension in something, and that may be Mars related. And the Venus energy is opposing you at the moment. So I feel like there may be some frustrations around forward movement, like things that maybe are coming through as like delays or kind of like your plans or things that you had envisioned are sort of being put on the back burner or being forced to slow down, actually, is how it's coming through. Like it's that kind of energy. So just being mindful of that. The Taurus and Venus energy is coming through as being like perhaps I feel like it's kind of coming through because Venus of course is the energy of like pleasure and relationships and resources as well. But the thing about the pleasure aspect is that it is often intertwined or it comes with pain as well. So I feel like what was coming through for that, for you, Scorpio, is that you may be experiencing at the moment sort of like the pain aspects that come with the pleasure, but perhaps the pleasure hasn't arrived yet, or like the pleasurable aspect of whatever this is. It's almost like you're going, like it was coming through as like a cost to you. Like it's like you're having to endure some sort of like cost in some way. I don't know. Like it might even be physically, Scorpio. Like it could be resources. It could be like your physical body. It could be something that's perhaps causing a little bit of pain in some way, or like it's taking a toll on you, or it's like coming at a cost, was how it was coming through, in order to, I don't know, like this is the other side of the coin that comes with the pleasure, if that makes sense. So that's how it's coming through for you, Scorpio. There was something else there. So it's saying that it's like an alignment pain, because I do feel like you are coming into alignment with something, and it's because it's coming through like a growing pain, right? Like that, like when you're growing, there's pain or discomfort associated with that. But in this case, it's in order to come into alignment with something or with another or whatever it is, there's pain that comes with that. Like it could be something like adjustments or like whatever it is, in whatever way that you're feeling this, that's how it's coming through. But I feel like part of the pain is also a representation of a purification process. It is coming through very strongly as relationship focused, but it doesn't have to be for you, because Venus also rules over resources, so it could also be something to do with your resources as well. Like anything it's coming through. Interesting. It may be resources, but for some reason, relationships are also coming in. I guess it'll depend on your specific chart and all that, because Libra's not really being focused on here, but Taurus is. Taurus is coming through as a very strong influence for you at the moment. Resources, stability. Material energy. That's how it's feeling. Like the physical is really being highlighted for you, Scorpio. There may be some sort of purification process that's happening, perhaps internally or emotionally or energetically, that has to do with like vibrations that relate to resources, if that makes sense. Okay, interesting. I do feel like there is sort of like a almost like a heightened awareness of your gifts is how it's coming through. Like there you may be feeling particularly tuned into your gifts, but that could also come with pain, right? Like it's coming through as being like I don't know if this is everyone's experience, but for my spiritual awakening, if you want to call it that, so much pain, a lot of discomfort. There was a lot of like things that needed to be cleared out. It was a painful process. So you may be going through something like that, perhaps like on a smaller scale or just in a particular area in your life or something like that. It's pain that is a result of something being purified is how it's coming through. Okay. I feel like maybe there's something here about like seeing the results of all the work that you've been putting in. That's how it's coming through. Like it's feeling kind of like a Knight of Pentacles turning into the King of Pentacles. That's how it's feeling. Which is a very Taurian energy for you, Scorpio. It's very interesting, but that could be why there's a bit of discomfort. It's because it's your opposite sign. Okay, anyways, so yeah. It will be worth it, whatever it is that you're going through. There's the pleasure, it's on its way. It's like it's arriving, it's coming soon. That's how it's coming through for you, Taurus. Taurus. Scorpio. The coagulation card. Yeah. Okay, that's so interesting because this card talks about like something coming together, right? Like it is a very physical representation of like something physically coming into form. That's how it feels. Now I'm getting the buffalo energy from the animal deck. The elephant at the bottom of the deck. But let's read the coagulation card. Yeah, solidity, adherence, and stuckness. This is the great alchemical operation of Earth. By way of this operation, we experience that which was fluid churning into a solid formation. The formerly disparate ingredients begin adhering together into a fixed and solid unit. The result is visible, reliable, and eventually concrete. When you hear the phrase, "it is finally taking shape," coagulation is underway. The shadow aspect of coagulation is that the elements may have come together without much awareness, and in turn they become unconsciously attached. Inertia and resentment set in. The parts can no longer separate even if they wish to. Many long-term relationships have coagulation aspects, a naturally occurring codependency by which both parties feel unseen or unknown as individuals. The work of coagulation is to experience the merging with other while not losing oneself in the mush. Okay, interesting, Scorpio. So that's what this energy is feeling like. There is this sort of like physical element of like something coming together, but that there's discomfort in that. I feel like the shadow aspects of coagulation are not, well, they could be, but the shadow aspects of coagulation that was in that description of like, when things come together without awareness is when things can become codependent, or like you become enmeshed with something that you didn't understand the consequences of, or something like that. I don't feel like that's the case for you, Scorpio, because of the message that was coming through that was saying that you have a heightened awareness, that you are actually very aware of all of the elements that are coming into place. I feel like there is something though of a discomfort because of this heightened awareness. That's how it's feeling. Like you're so aware of the different components that it may be causing discomfort. I actually feel like there's this element here, Scorpio, where you being seen is feeling very vulnerable. That's how it's feeling. Like you being seen, so it could be in relationships, right? Like you being seen is feeling vulnerable. That's where the discomfort is coming through. It's a heightened awareness or a heightened it could be clarity about another person or about yourself, or somebody has a heightened clarity about you or something like that that feels vulnerable or uncomfortable. That's how it feels. So there may be sort of like a desire to withdraw or remove yourself as a form of protection, of course. So just being aware of that, that's not a judgment. Do what you need to do to feel safe. I feel like there's something about like safety and security that is really being highlighted here as an area in which there could be growth, is how it's coming through. Like feeling secure and safe within a changing dynamic, or feeling secure and safe in being seen in a particular way, or being seen for who you are, or that kind of energy. That's how it's feeling. But I do feel like there is something that is physically taking shape for you at the moment, Scorpio. Okay. Yeah, the earth. There's a lot of like earth energy that's coming through. Stability. I feel like this is an area in your life where at the beginning part of whatever process this may have been very scary for you, actually, is how it's coming through. The beginning process of whatever this coagulation energy is, like something taking shape, might have elicited fear in the beginning. In the beginning is how it's feeling, because it was like it wasn't solid enough. Like it's kind of like, I feel like there may have been a part of this process, however long ago this was for you, could be that you're still in it, where you almost had to like something was like, where you had to like almost like make a mess in order to create something out of it. Like I'm seeing something like where there were like resources, like let's use Lego as an example, right? Like you had a whole box of Lego, and so it's almost like in order to see what you were working with, you had to like dump out all of the Lego, and it created a mess. That's how it's coming through. There may have been a part of the process for you where it's like you had to like bring out everything that you were working with, causing a mess. And from there, you can start to sort and organize and build and like see everything that you're working with. That's how it's coming through. And that part might have been really scary, where it's like you had to bring out everything, or like create a mess, or like unravel something, or like something like that. And now something is coming together. Something is taking shape. I feel like there's a bit more order coming into like a situation, like more stability. That's how it's feeling, like more stability, more structure, more order, and less chaos. That's how it's feeling. Like it's becoming more structured. Like you know what you're working with now, or you've actually built something, or you're in the process of it, and like whatever it is that you're working on or building is starting to take form. Okay. The self. Okay. The box and the tier. Very interesting. The village at the bottom of the deck. Okay, Scorpio. I feel like this is something that's like about, it could be a particular identity with the self, like something about yourself maybe that was blocked, or okay. Okay, so there's a message coming through with that. Especially because it's coming out with the box and the tier. I feel like whatever this process is that you're going through, it's happening through opposition or conflict, or like butting heads with someone. It could be that, like Aries energy, like it could be something where it's like you're going through something uncomfortable, right? The pain aspect, uncomfortable, conflict, opposition, that is unblocking something within yourself that has to do with your true power, or your strength, or something that you were afraid of. And so the reason why that message is coming through, there's a show that I just finished watching called The Wheel of Time, season 3. Sorry for spoiling if you haven't watched it yet. But there's this scene, there's one character, she is one of the strongest, like it's about magic and fantasy and all that. So she's one of the strongest like channelers of magic that has existed in like thousands of years, according to all the other magic wielders in that world. Like they have told her that she is one of the strongest based on like what they've seen of her magic, or what they felt from her and that kind of thing. But she's been on this journey where she can't tap into it. She cannot tap into it. She can't access it, even though she's one of the most powerful, whatever. And part of her storyline in this season was understanding why she was blocked from that. And there are 2 instances where she goes up against enemies, so to speak, right? Like the opposite energy to her. And in both of those cases, like the first one is when she there's an acceptance, or her admission that she is afraid of her own power. That's what was blocking her, right? Like she was afraid of how powerful she was. And then the second occurrence is when she like is about to die, basically, because her enemy, of course, took advantage of the fact that she can't access her power and put her in a situation where she would be killed. And that was the catalyst in order for her to unblock herself or unblock her power. But if she had not faced those oppositional challenges or whatever, she never would have been able to unblock herself. So there's something here about, for you, Scorpio, where it feels like you're going through this pain process of like encountering opposition, or encountering discomfort, or encountering like pain or whatever it is, in order to see that you're blocking yourself is actually how it's coming through from whatever it is. Because this box energy is coming through as being like the limitations that we place on ourselves, the expectations of others that limits our potential, the rules, it does feel like a block in a really like tangible kind of way. And with the tear, because that's, let's read what that one says. The morning, the release, the rain. Tears are droplets of letting go. Once they begin to fall, we allow the swelling tide of emotion to run its elemental course. Often the tear is what is needed in order for a conversation or situation to break into the next level of intimacy and vulnerability. Some say that tears are so powerful in softening our egos that they open up a portal to the unseen world. Through our watery eyes, the ancestors catch a glimpse of us, and we are reminded of their eternal embrace. We sense our humanity, our humility, and we allow ourselves to be held. It is likely this card appears when there is grieving yet to do, a sinking down into disappointment or despair that, once acknowledged, will bring a shimmer of clarity to our dewy eyes. Yeah. It is that. It feels kind of like, Scorpio, that you're in this process of acknowledging where you have blocked yourself, or where you have limited yourself based on perhaps fear, right? Like fear of your own potential, or fear of your own power, or whatever it is, right? That's just one example. Or fear of, like, it does feel like potential, fear of your own potential. So I feel like you are in the process of unblocking yourself, but with the village at the bottom of the deck, this is an energy of the past for me. It also represents something of sometimes you need to go back in order to go forward. It also represents a place in which we can no longer grow, but that is very comfortable for us. So that's how it's coming through, the village. Take that if it resonates. Very interesting, Scorpio. In some way, whatever this unblocking of yourself this is, it has to do with the physical in some way. That there are very physical consequences to you unblocking yourself. That's how it's feeling. Like something is becoming freed physically. It's becoming freed, which is interesting, but at the same time, that freedom is in the form of structure, which feels contradictory, but it's not. Where structure or stability is the freedom. That's how it's coming through. There may be discomfort in acknowledging that as well. That like actually having structure, routine is a form of freedom. So just take that if it resonates, Scorpio. Okay, I'm going to pull one card from the Alchemy Elemental Oracle for Scorpio. Yeah, power. This is about your power, Scorpio. Unlocking some aspect of your power. It really feels like that through opposition and challenge. That's how it's feeling. Yeah, and I love this card at the bottom of the deck as well, because it talks about like you've gone through the darkness and you're in the phase of sort of like collecting the rewards from that. But this power card, because the elephant did show up at the bottom of the deck for the animals. There it is. So the elephant may be a symbol for you. There may be something of like a past energy, like it could be something like a gift or whatever word you want to put there, a gift, an ability, a skill, maybe could be psychic or otherwise, whatever it is for you, that is sort of that you were connected to as a child, but it became blocked. That's how it's coming through. It became blocked through, whatever, societal expectations or whatever it is. And now that process is becoming unblocked, is how it's feeling. Interesting. But power. The power card ties into the theme of discernment because the journey of power is all about learning to differentiate between false power and true power. True power serves what is best for others in order for them to adapt and evolve, expand, grow, and amplify. It is the ability to lift people up and to show them what is possible. True power is vulnerable, open, and transparent. It supports that which makes a difference, not just in our own lives, but in the lives of many. When people or institutions try to impose their will onto other beings or to enslave them or infuse them with fear, lack, or division, that, my dear, is false power. That is straight up misuse of power, and true power will not bow down to that shit. When this card appears in your spread, you know the spirits are offering insight into your own personal journey in the realms of power and are inviting you to refine your discernment accordingly. Okay, I do feel like, Scorpio, finding doesn't feel like the right word. It's like rediscovering or unblocking some aspect of your power that was almost like hidden or blocked or not fully accessed is how it's coming through. Like you couldn't access it. You couldn't tap into it. There's something about Christmas that's coming through. There's something about water. Like something coming out of the water. Or water providing clarity. Your dreams may be significant. They may be part of it. Okay, I'm going to just pull a couple of animal cards. Okay. Interesting, yeah. So you have turtle, rabbit, beaver, deer, and panther. Because panther is the shadow, right? The shadow, again, is not a bad thing. The shadow is something that protects us from where we might feel fear, or it protects us from a situation where we might anticipate there being harm or something like that. In this case, Scorpio, I feel like it's a situation where it's like your shadow may have been the block, where it's like something where your shadow may be operating in a way where it's trying to protect you. Your shadow is trying to protect you in a situation where you don't need to protect yourself. That's how it's coming through. Like and that could be a result of fear, right? When we feel afraid, our shadow sort of comes online and acts in a way where, in order to protect ourselves. So there may be shadow work happening there in that case, where it's like maybe you're seeing an aspect of your shadow that is not serving you, or that somehow blocking your true power, which is how it's feeling. But I feel like there is this element here of like fear doesn't quite feel like the right word, because that feels like too big. It feels like much like it feels like much more like anxiety or worry, like especially with the rabbit here, like worry that something's gonna go wrong, like concern that, like, especially if it's something like a gift or something where it's like you have a particular gift or particular power, for lack of a better word, that sometimes that can come with fear of like people taking advantage of that gift, or people taking advantage of that power, or people misusing it, or people like whatever it is, like taking too much from you, or that kind of energy. That's how it's coming through. So there, it's like, because I feel like whatever this power is of yours, or whatever this gift of yours is something that's very feminine, actually, with the deer and the beaver. It could have to do with like nurturing, like your ability to nurture other people, or to give to other people, or like tend to or care for. Like it's feeling very feminine in that way, like it's very loving and gentle and soft. But it feels like you are the one who's giving that, or you're very nurturing, or something like that. But it's almost like there's something here where you may feel the need to protect that part of you because of maybe a worry or fear that someone might take advantage of you because of that, or take advantage of that gift, or whatever, like misuse it, or manipulate you through it, or whatever. It's coming through like that. So there is this very natural desire to protect oneself. And I feel like okay, I feel like for you, Scorpio, you may be in the process right now of like seeing how protecting yourself is actually not serving you, because it's like it's causing pain. That's how it's feeling. Like this protective mechanism that is being activated because of fear or worry or whatever is actually causing you pain, is how it's feeling. It's a maladaptive protective mechanism is how it's feeling. It's causing you pain to hide this aspect of you, right? Because it's like in that example of the woman who couldn't access her own magic, right? Blocked herself from it. Ended up being put in situations where she couldn't defend herself, right? Because she couldn't use her magic. So it's almost like one of those situations where it's like the fear of being manipulated actually causes one to be manipulated, right? Or the fear of being hurt actually causes you to be hurt. And so the solution here is not to is not to be more in this energy, if that makes sense, in the panther. It's actually to face your fear of like, if you give this part of yourself, there is always going to be a chance of that happening. But the more that you focus on that, the more it comes true. So it's coming through as being like the way in which you transmute this, or to move past this, or to unblock it, is to give. and then deal with the consequences, or like give knowing or embodying the confidence that whatever it is that happens, you can handle it. Even if it's something scary, right? Like there is something here of like having to face your fear and not manifest your fear, because I feel like the manifestation of your fear is something that's coming through as being a result of protecting yourself from your fear, if that makes sense. I know I'm just saying fear so much. I feel like that's part of it, but the fear feels more like worry, anxiety, protecting oneself, being very cautious with how you give, that kind of thing. I do feel like you're almost at the end of whatever this painful part is, Scorpio. I feel like you're like transmuting and purifying something within yourself. It could be emotionally. You also have the hummingbird at the bottom of the deck, which is a really good sign. I do feel like there's some sort of like nectar at the end of this, right? Like the pleasure aspect at the end of this. Where it is something that feels kind of like you reclaiming your power. Reclaiming your power so that you are not in this position again where you feel this sort of pain. That's how it's feeling. Okay. I'm going to pull one last card from the Energy Archaeology Oracle. It could have to do with rejection. Fear of rejection is how it's coming through. Yeah. The cards together. Allowing love. Allowing love, Scorpio. That's how it's coming through. The mandible and the fourth finger and toe. I feel like there is something here about allowing yourself to give love and also receive love. Because of that sort of feminine energy of like the beaver and the deer, allowing yourself to receive love. The allowing aspect, because I feel like there is something here of like something being shut down is actually how it's feeling. Either your heart has been shut down or like a block, right? It feels like a block, something being shut down, something not being accessed, whatever it is. But the allowing card has this really beautiful message about like just letting go and allowing yourself to be, because I feel like there's something here where hold on, let's just read it. That like I feel like there's something here where it's like okay, there is wisdom in opening the dam gently with discernment, titrating your energetic response until you can look at the wild coursing rivers of flow in your life and marvel at their beauty and genius. How could you ever think to control something so perfect? Yeah, when it's out of balance, it's clenched, restrictive, and force. When it's in balance, it's receptive, responsive, and easy. Like, I do feel like there's something here of like letting go of some form of control that is coming from fear or protecting oneself from pain, right? But I actually feel like in this case, you may be experiencing something where it's like when you protect yourself, it actually causes more pain to yourself. That's how it's coming through. And the nectar, excuse me, it's so itchy, my nose. The nectar or the healing or the sweetness or the love comes from letting go of that, of like releasing the protective, whatever it is. Like it does feel almost like boundary is not the right word. Restriction is what's coming through. Like, it feels almost like a distance, or like a barrier. That's what it is. It's not quite boundary, right? Like, boundaries are good. I feel like it's a barrier. Like, you cannot go this way, or like, I feel like it's almost like a self-restrictive barrier. You've restricted yourself from receiving love, is how it feels, Scorpio. Okay. And that there's something there about vulnerability. Okay, I have to read the love card. 1 second. I don't remember. I don't know if this card has come out in a reading before. It's the fourth finger. Okay. You have the ability to love on a massive scale with your heart bursting wide open. No matter what has been modeled in your past, no matter your trauma, attachment style, or fear, you have the ability to love and to receive love. You have both the great strength and great softness to turn towards love. Connect with people, plants, and animals around you that demonstrate the energy of love. Relationships and community are here to model how love flows, grows, and multiplies as an infinite source, but they are not the source. They are a channel for the source. Align with the highest frequencies of love and receive them into yourself. You are available for divine love. You are a channel for love. You receive love in infinite and unending ways. Okay, Scorpio. I'm going to leave it there. If this reading resonated with you, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. I appreciate it so much. Thank you for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.